protest was over, the march was over, and then gunshots just erupted. Right now, there are dozens upon dozens of police officers, police cars, mounted patrol units right now in downtown Dallas.
This is breaking news from NBC5.
We understand that about 200 people were set to gather there in downtown Dallas at the Belo Garden Park tonight to protest the recent shootings.
Just the cops. I didn't see nobody else get shot with the cops.
DPD.
The DPD, yes.
What'd you do?
They got caught. I ran.
Where'd you go hide?
You say what?
Where'd you go hide? Did you go hide somewhere?
Yeah, I went to go hide. What you mean did I go hide?
What you did next?
Oh yeah, I went to hide. Shit, you don't just sit there when people are shooting. Like yeah, you gotta run. Like God Almighty. Yeah, the cops are being shot. All the cops. Like this, I don't know who else. I saw cops getting shot right there in plain sight.
Cops. What's your name?
I'm Courtney.
Okay, so we just listened to a live interview. Again, guys, this is live. We are still gathering information about exactly what happened there. This is a shot from Chopper 5. You see an ambulance there. You see lots of police cars. A few minutes ago, we saw some police officers running on the ground. We are still trying to ascertain exactly what has happened there. What we're hearing is that at some point in the midst of these protests, which had been peaceful, they'd been going on for hours, shots were fired. We don't know from what direction. We don't know were they in the crowd or from outside of the crowd, and we still are not sure if anyone was hurt. But as you can see from the expressions and reactions from people there, it's a very frightening situation.
Here's some video as it happened. Let's listen.
Okay, we are watching video from earlier, just a few minutes ago. This shooting in downtown Dallas. You see the police officers here crouched behind their cars, people running to get out of the way. This was a peaceful protest. It started at 7 o'clock. We had not heard of any problems up until just a few minutes ago. And again, it's unclear where these shots even came from. But again, you see the police there behind their cars, telling people to get out of the way, people running for cover and ducking for a terrifying scene.
Now, within just the last 2 minutes, a police officer was telling us to get back and has told us that 2 officers have been shot. We do not know their conditions right now. We do not know the extent of their injuries. But again, an officer who was running through the crowd, telling everyone to get back because the shooter had a rifle, has just told us that 2 police officers have been shot. We don't know how many people are shooting. We don't know if the shots have stopped for about the last 10 to 15 minutes, but we don't know if the shooter has been neutralized, if he or she is dead. We simply don't know at this point. But again, officers are being very precautious, telling everyone to stay back. But again, the latest breaking news we got on the scene, an officer just ran by and told us that 2 Dallas police officers have been shot.
But right now, I understand that we're getting some video into the newsroom. We're going to roll it for you and take a listen. You can hear the gunfire.
See anything?
I just heard gunshots.
I need you to go, bro!
And again, this is video shot earlier when the gunfire erupted. So this is what we're looking at right now. This is from a few minutes ago, not even half an hour ago, when gunfire started in downtown Dallas. You hear the police officers yelling at people and telling the cameramen, because every local network was there to record what was happening. And you see the police telling everyone to get back. And a few minutes ago, we saw police at what we believe to be the Greyhound bus station
Well, Bianca, just moments ago, we saw a Dallas police cruiser screech up here with lights and siren. We saw a woman and a young girl get out of that police car. We can only assume that that is the family of one of the injured officers. We believe, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but we believe that there are 2 officers here, possibly one Dallas police officer, one Dart police officer, who have been shot. They are both in the emergency room right now, we believe. Again, I should stress we have no confirmation of that yet from Parkland. But joining us live now is Pete Schulte. He's a prominent Dallas defense attorney, a former police officer. Pete, this was one of your friends who you believe was shot?
I am hearing now that through text messages from people who know that one of the Dart officers is a good friend of mine that I've known for a long time that is here, shot in the arm, not life-threatening injuries, but anytime an officer is shot, obviously we're worried. We want to make sure we get down here and make sure we support the family.
And this, of course, changes everything. So what started out as a peaceful protest, we now know that 4 Dart police officers were shot and one of them has died. Very sad news. And we still understand, and Corey, help me here, they're still, from your understanding, negotiating with the shooter?
Yes, the last thing that we had heard from an officer, and this was about 15 or so minutes ago, was that they had located the shooter, were aware of where he was, and a SWAT team negotiator was actively conversing with the suspect. We've seen helicopters make a number of passes, but this is the first time that we've seen them really concentrate with the spotlight on a specific area. Right now, the light is shining in the direction of the El Centro parking garage, moving south away from Main Street, and now it is hovering above the Greyhound station. But that's where it appears police are focusing, on this parking garage. And again, we were told that SWAT team negotiators had made contact with the suspect and were talking to him.
We need to pass along some breaking information. We have just gotten a statement from Dallas Police Chief Brown, and I'm going to read it to you. This is word for word what's in the statement. Tonight it appears that 2 snipers shot 10 police officers from elevated positions during the protest. 3 officers are deceased. 2 are in surgery and 3 are in critical condition. An intensive search for suspects is currently underway. No suspects are in custody at this time. We ask that any citizen with information regarding the shooting tonight call Dallas Police. We want to share this photo with you. This is an incredibly emotional photo. This is from our partners at the Dallas Morning News. You see, this was taken at Baylor Medical Center in Dallas, one of 2 hospitals receiving people who were injured in the gunfire tonight.
A couple of people that I just spoke to, the first thing they said was, we're ready to go. These people can't actually leave here right now. A lot of them cannot get to their cars. They may have come down here for the protest and they're not able to get away from there right now. This lady is one that told me she was in the protest when this happened. Can you just tell me from your perspective, when did you know that something was going wrong?
We knew something was going wrong when we had to turn around because everyone was running toward the opposite way of where we were rallying. And my son, Elijah Douglas, he was here up front, and we actually got separated, so that was really scary.
Talk to me about your friend. Was he alert? Was he able to talk to you at all about what happened?
He was able to tell us that, as he was trying to get people away from a potential situation, as he was running away, he heard the shots. He didn't realize he was shot until he reached down for his gun. He had a lot of blood on him. That's kind of the routine when you have your adrenaline up. I've been there, and as a police officer, I know that's kind of how you feel. He got shot. Now he's waiting to go figure out if he's going to have surgery to try to get that bullet out.
All right, Julie, we just got some more sad news while you were talking. We understand that yet another police officer has died. That makes 4 police officers who have died as a result of this shooting tonight. This is one of the most tragic events I can remember in a long time here, Dawn. Can you give us an idea of what police are feeling right now?
Well, they're feeling targeted and they're feeling vulnerable, but I can promise you that every single one of them in uniform is going to finish this one way or the other. They're not going to stop until this incident is completed and that person's in custody or the threat's been neutralized.
But I could just tell you, I've never been more proud of a police officer and being a part of this great noble profession. Seeing the courage the professionalism and just the grit to stay on scene in an area looking for suspects, knowing that we are vulnerable. We don't know where they are, and our downtown is very large with a lot of high buildings. And some of the stories I've heard from officers talking about what happened, running toward gunfire to help the injured officers, to get them transported to the hospital by patrol car, not having the time to wait for an ambulance, and just there's so many stories of great courage.
It is a heartbreaking morning to lose these 4 officers that proudly served our citizens. To say that our police officers put their life on the line every day is no hyperbole, ladies and gentlemen. It's a reality. We as a city, we as a country must come together, lock arms, and heal the wounds that we all feel from time to time. Words matter. Leadership matters at this time.
Hey, Christy, we just heard a large blast here at our location coming from the area around the El Centro College building. Sounded like it might be a police flashbang device used to distract a suspect or sort of incapacitate a suspect in a situation like this. One loud bang. This was just in the last 2 or 3 minutes. One of the officers around me here, just kind of for our own safety, gave me a quick heads up before it happened. He said he thought something was about to happen, and it did. A very loud, concussive noise from that building just a very short time ago. Since then, we've not seen any more activity here at our location. We've not heard any more gunfire, just that one loud bang.
Right now, the sad news that another of the 11 police officers shot has died, bringing the total number of deaths to 5. And this is just amazing to me that so many officers were killed and seriously injured in this just a few seconds of gunfire in what started out as a peaceful situation.
Watching in the last few minutes as a line of officers has formed outside the emergency room entrance here. Right before we noticed the officers in formation there, we saw 2 white vans back in. We believe that those vans are from the medical examiner's office, and we believe that they're in the process of moving at least one of the bodies of the fallen officer or officers. Okay, now they're saluting again. We believe that they are removing the bodies of at least one or more of the fallen officers from Parkland Hospital right now. A very somber moment here. We can't see what's going on the other side of those vans, but we can just see these police officers standing and saluting. And you can guess as well as I can what this is all about. We believe they're bringing the bodies out.
We're going to bring our law enforcement expert out, Don Pritz. Again, you have it, Scott.
Yeah, that's an honor line. He's actually right. That's an honor line, and every time they bring one of those fallen officers out of the hospital and load them into that van, they're going to stand at attention. They'll salute as a show of honor for that officer giving his life in the line of duty, and then they'll relax that salute as the doors close and the officer's taken away.
And what are these officers feeling right now, Don? I mean, you were them. You worked as a law enforcement officer for more than 30 years.
They're feeling shock. They're feeling the emotion that's weighing on everybody right now, that they cannot believe that something like this has happened, to their own agency. They feel a lot of pride that they survived it, and that some of their friends survived it, and a lot of sadness that others did not. Mm-hmm. And they know that they've got to carry the torch on the next day. They've got to continue the fight, and that's what keeps them going every day.
Much of the major streets in downtown Dallas, Elm, where we are, Main, Commerce, all of these streets are shut down. I can also tell you that just a few moments ago we saw a slow procession of Dallas police vehicles making their way out of the area away from the El Centro College campus towards the intersection with Houston and Elm. So that's perhaps another indication that things are standing.
All right, we have to interrupt Ben Russell. Right now, the Dallas police procession is about to leave Parkland Hospital. Police officers will escort the bodies of the fallen officers from the hospital, and that's what we're watching right now.
It appears that there were four officers here at Parkland. We watched as the honor line raised their hand in salute 4 times as the bodies were loaded into these vans that will transport the bodies of these officers to the medical examiner's office for the autopsy. And just another solemn moment as these officers lead their fallen brothers, to the next stage of this investigation. And they'll have a clear pathway as they make their way to the medical examiner's office. Just a very difficult journey, I'm sure, for these officers.
It's about 20 minutes or so removed since a Dallas police detective came up to just about where our camera is parked right now to tell me in person that yes, this suspect who had been holed up inside of the El Centro campus, I believe to be parking garage, is dead.
All right, and that was the garage where that suspect was holed up for several hours. Again, Ben saying too, the word he is getting is that suspect is dead. All right, Ben, thank you.
Yeah, we're going to go to Warsaw now as the president is set to speak, and we'll address the situation in Dallas.
Presidents Tusk and Juncker for the opportunity to meet today. With your understanding, I want to begin with a few words about the situation back in the United States, specifically the situation in Dallas, Texas. My team's been keeping me updated throughout the morning, the evening in Dallas. I spoke this morning with Mayor Rawlings of Dallas to convey the deepest condolences to the American people. I told him that the federal government will provide whatever assistance Dallas may need as it deals with this tremendous tragedy.
And again, we are seeing another salute now. This is live?
This is live there.
This is the second one live.
And we only know the identity of one of the officers who has died, and that is the DART police officer, a man identified as Brent Thompson, a 43-year-old, a veteran of the DART police force since 2009. The other 4 officers who died in the line of duty were Dallas police officers. The police chief and the mayor expected to address reporters again at 7:30 this morning, and perhaps then we'll learn a little bit more about these 4 individuals who lost their lives. Again, coming at the end of a peaceful vigil, the officers letting these 800 people or so express their opinions, the right, the freedom of expression, standing back, and at the end of this peaceful vigil, just this unprecedented violence breaking out, and 2 hospitals again where the dead and the injured were received. And while those who lost their lives have now been removed from the hospitals for transfer to the medical examiner's office, we see this line of police officers and hospital workers just wiping away tears for what they've witnessed this morning.